Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Once again, it is time for my client Gustov's vlog, and we have him over at this point to an upper-lower split. I kind of explained why a couple vlogs ago as far as what was going on with that. In his case, his goals are pretty much just physique-oriented, right? They're physique-oriented, so we do tend to do quite a bit more reps. Even a lot of his big 3, or 5+ reps. A lot of it we do stuff like that, and our reasons being, again, he just cares about muscle mass. He cares about overall size. He's trying to build a base. He's bodybuilding, but not competitively. He's an intermediate lifter. We've just continued to build him up. One thing we did know, and I kind of laughed, one of the regulars pointed out, well, he needs a little more leg. I'm like, well, it takes time. He hasn't been training that long. And now I have him over to where he's doing his leg work twice a week. But I want to be clear, I don't do a lot of volume on the squats and deadlifts for him right now because we don't need to. We've been base building certain things. And I have him doing a lot more leg pressing and stuff. But I do have him do one heavy set of squats, one heavy set of deadlifts every week. So on his upper day here, and we do vary the upper and lower. I do change the supplemental work a little bit, but bench press and pull-ups are our staples. Squat and deadlift are staples. So on his upper day here, obviously this first one, we do bench press, we do weighted pull-ups, we do incline bench, right, which you guys see here. We do tricep extensions, curls, lateral raises. So note, again, we are picking exercises for just overall development at the start. And then I have him do rowing on his leg days because, again, I want to really thicken his back up, so I'm double downing there. So we do 2 chest presses and only 1 pull on the upper days, but then we add rowing on the lower days. So it ends up being, around 12 total sets for each one. And that's pretty much where I have him. At pretty much the highest volumes, I generally advocate for drug-free lifters with a few exceptions who are not really conditioned athletes. So for people who want to understand what we're doing there, it's that I don't want him doing more than 12 sets for a muscle. Because realistically, I don't believe the evidence supports that you benefit from that if you're going hard. And I think it supports, and my own experience as a coach tells me the same thing. There's no point in doing more than that if we're doing hard, challenging sets. And he's doing his sets hard, he's doing them challenging, he's putting in the work. So you guys see here, we do really full range of motion tricep extensions. His pull-ups are all from a dead hang pretty much. So those tricep extensions, we're hitting that long head really hard there because we do a lot of other pressing. Right, we do all this other pressing, so the lateral head and things get worked a lot. And I want to make sure we really, really finish up that long head effectively. So we do that, and then of course I have him do a barbell curl here, but we obviously change some of that up. So some of these exercises get changed to, like an incline curl or preacher curl later in the week, and then things like a press down. So I do vary his lifts a little bit, even though I don't personally always do that for myself. In his case, I do because we do want just a little more, fine-tuning of development. So again, I changed the exercises to some extent a little bit on the first and second workout for upper and lower. On the lower, I just changed the squat and the deadlift. We do the supplemental work the same. Because again, I don't want to beat his recovery up. I want to make sure he's recovering fine. And so again, I don't push certain things as hard as I might for some of my strength athletes or that I might do for myself because again, not everyone has a perfect lifestyle. But over time, I will work some of those things up more and more and more on him. I may get him to a point to where we do multiple sets of squats. We may get to a point where we do squat twice a week. But it's going to take time to build that work capacity up. So for lower days, we do squats, and I've been having him work on getting deeper. I'm like, look, we can't be half repping these squats. You want big legs, and you want to be big, you want to be jacked. We got to get these squats deeper. And so now we're getting a little deeper. It's what I'm working on with them. So that first leg day, we're doing this, and I have him work good mornings. I'm progressively loading the good mornings up so that, again, we get some good solid lower back work in there. So again, just taking them up heavier over time. We've been doing really high reps. I think we did like 15s this week. I'm going to have him do 12s this coming week with a given weight. So these, I don't take them to reps in reserve like a lot of the other lifts. So I prescribe the weights and I'll tell them, whatever reps in reserve. And some of this, I just prescribe reps. And the reason is I don't want him to grind good mornings. I want to just build work capacity over time with just challenging sets, but I don't necessarily want this exercise always taken real super close to failure or to failure. So again, I'm just progressively bringing it up so that we don't risk injury. And that's something I do a lot with this movement, and then lifters who are more advanced and they're moving bigger weights on it will do it more that way. But for base building, a lot of my guys who are not semi-advanced yet, I'm always reluctant to do that. Now, of course, on this leg press, we are limited a bit with the design of the machine. When he's changing gyms here coming up in a couple weeks, and we're going to have access to better equipment, so I can really push some of his leg machines, get deeper ranges of motion. You know, we live with what we have there because he's kind of banging the bottom of that range of motion, as you guys can see on that leg press. So that's really not ideal. It's going to build legs, but it's not 100% optimal, right? We need to be able to get into those stretch positions in order to get everything that we want out of it. You know, and so again, the other equipment's going to help. And then I have him do some seated cable rows here at this point. Now, we've talked about it, and we're going to work barbell rows back in for him. He feels better about it. He feels his work capacity is better. We're having a case where he threw up doing barbell rows with the higher reps. So I'm like, okay, let's adjust this now. So we've been replacing it with, you know, seated cable rows, with dumbbell incline rows. And now he's like, okay, I feel like I'm in a little better shape with the recovery on some of this stuff. I feel like on some of these lower days I can handle them again. So we talked about it. We're going to give that a try. So also on, I threw some of the other lifts in instead of the primaries after the first 2 days, just so you guys would see some of the other lifts that I do have him do. I have him do a decline dumbbell press. So again, we have flat bench, we have incline barbell, then we have decline dumbbell. So I'm really working that chest from multiple angles. And in his case, we do need to do some of that because it's been a weak link for him, right? So arms, delts, all that are actually strong points. Things like traps, things like pecs, and then legs are kind of where we need to bring him up. You know, his lats are actually really wide now. He's good at pull-ups. Like, we have arms, we've got delts, so we just need to work some of these other areas just to get him thicker. You know, so I want to see a lot more hamstring. I want to see more trap all the way down the back, not just the upper. We need more chest. So we're working those different angles. But then you guys will see here some of the other lifts he does. He does press downs on this day instead of the laying extensions. And then, of course, I throw his top set of deadlifts in here, and then some more good mornings, just so that we have kind of a complete vlog. He obviously sends me footage of all the lifts, but then I kind of pick and choose. And you know what makes sense just to throw in the vlog to see that we're doing. But again, the idea is very similar to a lot of my guys. 10 to 12 sets of muscle group. We split the volume up over 2 days, and we do upper, lower. And so again, to me, that is relatively high volume when we're working hard. I don't have many lifters do like 18 to 20 sets. That's relatively rare, you know, unless we really have an ideal environment for that to occur, right? And so again, I don't do that for very many people. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.